Concept cars are great. They show off what a car manufacturer is capable of. Most of the ones you'll see are so unique, so daring, and they're usually hated beyond belief or adored, often a mixed pool. To each their own. Most of them are never really meant to actually go into production, at least not without some major redesigning. At the very least, sometimes they go on to provide inspiration for other models within a company's lineup. Every company does them. You'll see them get revealed at automotive expos, and sometimes they make big headlines. A more recent example is the Dodge Challenger EV. You know, the one with the fake engine sounds. It was all over social media for weeks. Anyway, we're not going to sit here and talk about how that Challenger tries to be a big boy combustion engine car like its predecessors. We're here to talk about a car with purpose, a car with character, a car literally unlike any other. We're talking about the one and only Porsche Panamericana. To understand the Porsche Panamericana, first we need to understand how it got its name. It all started in Mexico in early 1950s.
Well, how did this German company that used to make World War II tanks end up in Mexico just a few years later?
Well, I'm glad you asked. In 1950, the Pan American Highway in Mexico was finally completed. This is a 2,178-mile stretch that runs north to south from Nuevo Laredo down to Mexico City. What do you do when your country finishes building a big-ass road? If you say anything other than hosting a grueling 5-day race along said road, you're crazy. That's right, the Mexican government celebrated with a race with the partial intention of attracting international tourism and business as a bonus. Everyone came to the race, from Formula One drivers to NASCAR drivers to ralliers and drag racers. But out of the 132 competitors in the first year, lots of them were just ordinary schmucks like you and me, looking for a good time down in the Mexican sun. Apparently, only around a third of the racers actually finished, and over the 5 years that this race took place, 27 people actually died from it. There were all sorts of different American and European cars racing, from Oldsmobiles to Ferraris to Cadillacs and Alfa Romeos. And of course, Porsche, which enjoyed several victories over the races. This leaves Porsche with a legacy of the race following them around to this day. In fact, they ended up naming a couple of their cars after the event. They must have been really proud of how they did or something. Anyway, you might know the Carrera or Panamera. They were named with respect to the race. And let's not count out our concept, Panamericana. So that's how the Panamericana got its name, and how it got its inspiration for its off-road features. The car itself is a completely one-of-a-kind concept design by Harm Lagai and Steve Merkett, and it was built in 1989, after only 6 months from design to finish. Only 6 months to just completely build this car. That's pretty nice. I told you how concept cars are a way of showing off capabilities earlier. Well, the idea here would be to show off some features that could be on the next gen 911 at the Frankfurt Motor Show. And, well, the thing totally stole the show. There was actually some hope that the car would become at least a small production by the designers. But sadly, Porsche was dealing with a bit of a financial crisis at the time, and they couldn't afford to make this kind of new model. Basically, what this abomination of a car is a total body remodel of a 964 Carrera 4 Cabriolet, and actually incorporates some carbon fiber parts, which I think is badass. The most glaringly obvious thing about the design, and the elephant in the room, is the fenders. They're made so wide and open, unlike anything I've ever seen before. That's what gives it the ability to be a bit of a cross-country race car. It's also got one-off, unique, 3-part wheels, Porsche logos on the tire tread, which, I mean, those gotta be some expensive-ass tires, a sleek roofline, and a fabric top that could be removed by a pink zipper, in addition to the removable rear glass. It's green and pink, gotta love it. Not my first choice of colors, but it's cool. The interior is just like any old plain 964, but it's got bucket seats and 4-point seat belts. And it's not like this is one of those rolling shells of a concept, it's fully functional. It has the 3.6 liter flat 6 engine, good for 250 horsepower, and paired with a manual 5-speed tranny. It is actually rumored that there may have been a second one built, but nobody really seems to know for sure. Anyhow, we know for sure that one was given to Dr. Ferry Porsche, son of Porsche's founder Ferdinand Porsche Sr., on his 80th birthday. Now it resides at the Porsche Museum in Stuttgart to be seen by all. Is that the same one that was gifted to Ferry Porsche, or is that the second example that's rumored to exist? I don't know, man. I just make the video. You figure that out for yourself. What's that? You want your own? Well, you're in luck because every Porsche employee at the time was given a 1/43rd scale model on a bronze plaque. If you're lucky to find one of these guys, and if they're willing to sell, you can have it. Oh, you want a full-size driving one? Yeah, alright bud. You're gonna have to get a Porsche 964 Carrera Cabriolet and be real talented with bodywork if you really want your own. Or you could pay someone a lot of money to build it for you. As I always say, anything is possible, assuming you have enough money. Or if you'd be satisfied with a virtual version, you could pick up the 2000 video game Road Wars, which is basically a death race replica video game. I grew up on that game, and I've grown to love many of the cars in it. And apparently they came out with another Panamericana that was made just last year in October 2022. It's another namesake to the 1950s race, and is designed to be a kind of modern replica of a 1952 356S Cabriolet, a particular blue one that Porsche entered into the race. This special car is based off a 2022 Porsche 911 Carrera S Cabriolet, with a matching paint job to one of the original Porsches that competed in the race, with the same race number of 11 on the side to top it off. Like the Sally Special one-off edition, it's got a bunch of unique features like a unique roof color, embroidered seats, custom door sills and door lights. It's supposed to be auctioned off sometime soon in 2023 for charity. Overall, very cool and really captures the history of the Carrera Panamericana, but not quite as eye-catching as the 1989 Panamericana. And there you have it, folks. A bit of an obscure concept car, but an interesting one nonetheless. I'm glad I was able to share this little bit of car history with you, so thank you for watching. Let me know what you think of this concept car. Hope you learned something either way. I will see you all later.